On tonight's episode, Micah wants to be a rebel spy, Brent wants to be a Jedi, and I want to be out of here. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast, nerds. I am Larry Brantley, and I am here with my two best friends, Micah Donahoe.
Greetings, programs.
And Brent freaking Williams.
Blip, bloop, blip.
We want that'll make sense any minute now. Want to say a special shout out to our producer Chris Hockenberry, who could not be with us tonight because he and his lovely wife Pamela are off on a trip,
Gallivanting.
which means this show has already gone straight to hell, and there's no recovering from it. We need you, Chris. Come back soon. All right. Hey guys, if you haven't already done so, please go out to nerdherfers.com. Hit that subscribe button. We've got so much fun stuff out there. We've got a merch store done up by our good friend, Mr. Donahoe. We've got a cigar shop where a lot of the cigars that we review can be made available to you right on our site.
Get it.
You can also go out to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@nerdherfers. Hit the subscribe button there, and you can tune in every week to see three middle-aged guys smoking and drinking and talking about crazy shit. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, be a part of this.
Be a part of it. Yeah, hit us up in the comments section.
That's got national appeal.
I think to date, guys, we've only got one troll, and frankly, I'm disappointed in us.
Me too.
I know. I want some more trolls.
We need more trolls.
We need to work harder.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Although I think last week I may have pissed enough people off with my jokes about Brent being racist that we might get some comments on that. I only hope so.
Those are the
By the way,
best.
Brent's not a racist at all.
He's not.
He is only one when it is comedically funny.
Maybe a little bit, baby.
No.
Let's get it.
Only in his merchandise purchases.
Oh my
Hey.
God, that is awesome. Hey, here's how the show works. Every week, one of us brings a cigar for us to review. One of us brings a bottle of whiskey for us to try. And then we pick a topic that we are going to nerd out about. And oh my God, Star Wars fans, get out your special shock. It's going to get good tonight because we are going to be talking about the second season of Andor, which is on Disney Plus and now has 9 episodes at the time of this recording, currently available for you to watch. And we are going to get all up in it tonight. But before we do, we're going to go to a little segment that we like to call Nerd News. I sound like a foghorn there. That's kind of cool. It is all the nerd news that you didn't even need to know that you need to know. And for that, as always, we go over to our anchor desk and Mr. Brent Williams. Brent, nerd out, buddy.
Well, all my nerd news is around Star Wars.
Okay.
What? No way.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Oh, my God.
It's unbelievable. So, George Lucas finally came out and said why all the Imperial people, all the evil people in Star Wars have British accents.
I read about this. Please tell the world.
I did not. What?
So, basically, one of the influences when he was writing the original series was the American Revolutionary War.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was, the upstart Americans who, ironically, some of them still had British accents.
It's true.
Went against
because they were from there.
were against the British Empire, right? Ooh. So, and half the actors are not British. They're all doing British episodes. Like one of them is Irish, another one's Dutch, and all that kind of stuff. Australian, but they do British episodes. Accents.
British
Yeah,
episodes.
British episodes too.
On this show.
Yeah.
less fast.
And so then all of the good guys have American accents, like or the Ryloth, they're like French, have French accents, and so you'll notice that different species sometimes will have different like
Twi'leks, you mean?
Twi'leks, yeah. I'm sorry, on the Ryloth. They're from Ryloth. I'm sorry. The Rylothians.
No, yeah. I didn't know if
The
they were like
Rylothians.
lesser Star Wars
Twi'leks,
fans.
yeah.
And then, of course, the Trade Guild, for some weird reason, are all Asian.
Oh,
What the
my
hell is
gosh.
that?
I don't even know.
Because
Yeah.
racism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's why they all have British accents.
So it comes down to the British Empire.
Yep.
That's
And
what
I
the
also
influence
heard
was.
that they
That's
were
interesting.
filming over there a lot, so they
Oh,
were
yeah.
able to
Well,
get some more actors.
Pine-
Yeah, well,
Studios.
so the reason
And it
they
was
filmed over there
cheaper.
is because it was cheaper to make the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go America.
Merc.
Also, George Lucas finally explained why Yoda talks backwards.
I read this, but I don't remember.
I've never heard of it.
It's actually a very simple reason. He needed a gimmick to make kids pay attention to the movie.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
Kind of became iconic. So,
Yeah.
And, of course, Yoda was voiced by the brilliant Frank Oz.
Yep.
Yes.
Who
Miss
was
Piggy.
also Miss Piggy and Fozzie Bear
Yeah.
and a dozen other Muppets that you
Oh, Sam the
love
Eagle.
from childhood.
Yeah.
Sam the Eagle.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have a Sam the Eagle in Star Wars. That would have been
awesome.
That would have been good.
Yeah. The last thing, and this is super relevant and super cool.
Okay.
So
Cool
Andor season 2, cool whip. Andor season 2, episode 8. It's called Who Are You? I think it's the name of it.
I believe so.
It's the one where they're on Gorman and the Empire's doing all the manipulation and stuff like that.
Oh,
Anyway,
yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, it is called Who Are You?
It has a
Who are you?
Nielsen rating of 9.9 and is one of the top 10 TV shows to ever premiere.
Yeah.
It is right behind Breaking Bad.
Ooh.
They had an episode called Face Off that's like the #1 premiere ever.
Yeah.
But it's right ahead of the Game of Thrones, the Reigns of Castamere episode.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, 9.9.
There you go.
Isn't that crazy?
Man,
That is
incentive
crazy.
to watch.
We told you.
Yeah,
gotta watch it.
We'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
But thank you, Brent, for a Star Wars centric episode of Nerd News. May the 4th be with you, even though it's not May the 4th anymore. Anyway,
A few days past that.
it was a few days past it, but you know what? It's always relevant.
right.
It's always good. And I also love the fact that May the 4th is followed by Cinco de Mayo.
Or also known as Revenge of the Fifth.
Revenge
Yes,
of the Fifth.
Revenge of the 5th. Because May the 4th you celebrate, and Revenge of the 5th is the hangover you know you're going to have from all the margaritas you're drinking
That's
for
right.
Cinco de Mayo.
Oh.
Anyway, hey, whose turn was it to bring the bottle this week?
Me.
Okay, what'd you bring for us, buddy?
Ooh.
Something good.
Oh, he did. He made the ooh sound. I always love
Yeah.
it when Brent makes the ooh
All right.
sound.
So this is a bottle of straight rye whiskey.
Ooh.
So Micah,
Oh,
give it a try.
let's do this.
This is from a company called Lockwood Distilling Company.
Yes!
They're here in Texas.
like
Yes.
Lockwood.
They actually have a location downtown McKinney.
Yes.
The distillery's in Richardson. Now, the last time I was at the McKinney location, I tried to order some rye drinks, and they're like, sorry, we're out of rye. They had no rye whatsoever.
What?
So this wasn't when you and I went?
No.
Because we had drinks
No,
that
this
night.
was after that.
Okay.
Um,
You went there without me?
Yeah, sorry. I have other friends.
You guys always go without me?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You do not have other friends.
I do. It's amazing.
I don't believe.
Okay, I'm
have
sorry.
you ever seen him, Micah?
I'm sorry.
No, I haven't been on one of your excursions.
Let me correct that.
Well,
My-
you also live in
let me-
Elephant's Ass,
Yeah, I
Wyoming.
know.
So
let me correct that. My wife has friends, and let's make that
the truth. Thank you
Yes.
for being
so,
honest, my friend.
so anyway, so I tried to look up the mash bill for this. They don't even list this on their website anymore. They have no rye products anymore.
I like the cap.
Yeah.
Are they discontinuing the rye?
I don't know. The waiter at the time said it was a supply issue.
Meaning they just haven't made enough of it.
Yeah.
But that would be different than discontinuing
because
the
don't
product.
they
Yeah.
supply?
Well, maybe they have some in the barrel and it's not ready. I don't know,
Yeah.
but they're not selling anymore right now. So the consequence of that is I can't find a mash bill for this.
Okay.
That's all right.
But it's rye whiskey.
All
So it's
right.
going to be peppery and a little burny, and
Yeah.
and I think they said it's aged a minimum of 2 or 3 years.
I'm really excited to do this because you guys know how much I don't really
do.
enjoy ryes because they bite me too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to suggest right off the bat that we take an ice break.
Well, let's do neat first. Let's
Yeah,
have a
no,
couple
I
sips
want to
of
You
neat.
taste
wanna-
it.
okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I totally want to
I
taste
totally
it
agree
first.
with you, but let's do a couple neat sips first,
All
and then
right.
we'll go to ice.
Well,
All right.
let's do it. Micah, give me your glass.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Bent.
Yeah,
Mr.
and
Bent.
this is a screw top. There's no cork.
That is quite all right. It is actually cheaper, and it does not impact how you store your whiskey.
What are you saving it for? I'm kidding.
For the ice.
For the ice. Save it for the ice. That's enough for me on a neat.
Save it for the ice hole.
All right, so no mash bill. We're going into this completely blind. Let's give it a nose.
All right.
Oh, that is
Oh, it smells great.
sweet. It smells sweet.
Oh, yeah. It does. You're
That
right.
is not okay. Like, I don't know about you guys, but that is not like what I was expecting when I put my nose into a rye whiskey.
I know
Yeah.
this is a little bit on the spot, but my inexperience with ryes, is there kind of like a standard mash bill that goes around with rye?
I
You're
don't
talking
think
to the
so.
wrong guy.
It's just a high rye whiskey. I mean, high rye could be 15%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going in.
I'm getting a woody flavor, not unpleasant.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
That is oak.
Yes,
That is
yes.
oak and oak and oak all
Oak
day.
all
Yeah.
day.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's actually
Ooh.
really good. No burn going down.
No burn.
That
But
is quite
that's
enjoyable.
that's
But there's
tasty.
something spicy going on.
well, it's
yeah,
rye.
It's
Yeah.
got that
yeah,
peppery.
but I'm inexperienced. I'm a virgin.
It's got that peppery thing going on, but pepper and
But
oak
you're right.
are
There
forward.
is another spice flavor in there.
I'm almost getting like a baking spice.
I'm getting like an allspice or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
dude, I like it.
That's good.
Let's do sticks, and then we'll grab some ice.
And then
Yeah,
we'll grab
sounds
some
good.
ice. All right, I believe, Mr. Donahoe.
Yes, sir.
It was your turn to bring
I say,
cigars
I say.
this week. Oh, sorry. Foghorn Leghorn for the defense, Your Honor. Boy's got a mouth like an outboard motor.
I got some sticks. I say I got some sticks for you. All right. Today, I have brought something that I've been eyeballing in the humidor by my house for a little while. It's tucked in the corner, so I don't know if that means it's good or it sucks. So we're going to find out.
Let's find out.
All right. This is
Could be the rock town of cigars. We don't know.
Fingers crossed it's not, because for the price.
Okay. All right.
That would just make it worse.
I guess
Well-
this is not an everyday thing then.
Well, actually, this is a Highland Village tell, right? Because the store that I have by my house is marked up by like $3 on every single cigar.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
anytime I buy an $18 cigar, I'm buying a $15 cigar, you know?
I see.
All right.
Okay.
So this is the La Gloria Cubana Series R
Okay.
Maduro.
Yep. No, these are good.
Yeah. Oh, you've had
yeah.
the Series R?
Yep.
So I've had La Gloria Cubana before, but I've never had the Series R.
Yep. You'll enjoy these.
Outstanding.
All right,
is
this has a
fat
wrapper.
cigar.
Yep. This has a wrapper of a Connecticut broadleaf,
Oh, yes!
a binder of Nicaraguan, and a filler of Dominican and Nicaraguan.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what drew this?
Ooh.
You know what drew this to Micah is if you turn off the lights, you can't see the cigar.
Yeah.
You're
It's
absolutely.
like
you know what?
It's like a void.
I would make a joke, but you're darn right.
Yeah. No, it's like a void. That is
Did
good.
I do good?
I
Yes.
suspect
These
that's
are
gonna
great
be-
cigars. You're gonna enjoy these.
Oh my gosh! Happy Micah. Better than that one that happened on. Geez, what we were doing the Little Tokyo. Big Trouble in Little China.
I remember
The
that
cigar
episode.
that I
That
brought.
was that green tea earthy
It was
one
that garbage one.
that we did with the wee beastie.
Yeah, it sucked.
Oh, that was just bad choice upon
It
bad
was just
choice.
bad choice on bad choice. Oh, perfect wrapper release.
All right, boys. Well, I hope you had your Wheaties today.
I had a full meal before I came over here tonight.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so good. I love the way this smells.
This is going to be a dark cigar.
Yes, super dark. Like Brent said, it disappears.
Yeah, it's actually made the room dimmer.
Oh my god, I can't even V-cut it. It's so thick. Give me a little bit more.
That's what she said. Anyway. Wow.
Oh, that draw. Holy
Wow.
shnikes.
Okay, so that is just all day darkness.
Dark chocolate heaven.
Saddle leather.
Yep.
Sitting in a leather wingback chair
Yep.
with an old fashioned.
Wearing leather boots,
Wow.
chewing on a piece of leather.
Woo. This one might just give me a little bit of a head high, you guys.
Oh my gosh, I'm in heaven.
I have Dr. Pepper's in the fridge.
Fair enough. Dr. Pepper to the rescue. All right.
Sounds
Well,
like
here
part
we
of a
go
rap.
with the show, you guys. We've got the La Gloria Cubana Serie R Maduro. And we're drinking this nice rye from Lockwood, which apparently, even if you live in Texas right now, you can't get. So sorry.
Oh my gosh. I gotta say, hold on.
Okay, wait. Parrot.
I should have saved that bottle and
Parrot.
sold it on the secondary market.
Parrot.
Oh my gosh.
That is a good balance right there. That is a good
That
balance
is.
of tobacco and whiskey.
Oh, that makes that so like buttery mouthfeel now.
Yeah. Well done, boys. So we don't talk in advance about what cigar or bottle we're going to
Yummy.
get. So sometimes we get pairings that are not great. And sometimes, like, I feel like right now we have a pairing
Yeah.
that is just serendipitous. It's
This-
just very, very good.
This is my absolute happy place right
Wow.
here.
Well-
I mean, it's not just because it's dark, but I mean,
It's rich.
it's so rich. I feel like I'm sucking on a big piece of dark chocolate and leather.
What if I told you I could make you happier?
Depending on how you plan. to do
We
that.
are going to talk tonight
Oh, okay.
about Andor season 2. Wow, man. Come on.
No.
First of all, what happens after the camera stops? We all agreed to this. We signed in blood, you guys.
Yes, we did.
All right, so let's just move
my
on.
fingers
from that.
still
We
hurts.
sacrificed cats and everything.
Tonight.
that one.
It wasn't his cat. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Tonight we are talking about the Disney Plus series Andor, which is in the Star Wars universe. Season 2 came out a few weeks ago. And a very interesting thing, if you've not yet seen Andor Season 1, you owe it to yourself to do so. Quick backstory. There was a movie some years ago called Rogue One. It was a Star Wars story.
So good.
And it was a prequel to the Battle of Yavin, which was Star Wars A New Hope, the very first movie.
One of my favorites.
This followed the exploits of a rebel spy by the name of Cassian, Andor. I'm glad you didn't say actually. Thank you for that.
Actually.
And a young woman named Jen Orso, who turned out to be the daughter of the guy who actually built the Death Star.
Or Jin.
You don't let him talk.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Just let him talk.
Anyway, Rogue One had to do basically the film led up to the moment where the rebels were able to steal the Death Star plans, transmit them to Princess Leia, and then we go right into Star Wars for A New Hope.
Oh, yeah.
Andor basically tells us the story of Cassian Andor.
He's not a boxer.
So we get. Go ahead. No, go ahead. No, you're doing great, man.
Cassius Clay, such a great fighter. Anyway, Cassian.
Cassian Andor.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. You're fine.
No, we're good.
You're fine.
No, you're real good at
No, Larry, you win.
heckling. I'm sorry. You're real good from the heckle box.
It wasn't me this time.
Hang on. You're real good from the heckle box. See how easily I did that? That's an easy edit right there.
You've had practice.
So, Andor
Pisses Larry off.
This is his.
You know what pisses Larry off? Us interrupting
He's
every
done.
5 freaking seconds.
Yeah, he's done. He's done.
Okay, Larry, I'm so sorry.
No, you're not.
The whole premise of the show.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. Brent's not sorry. I'm actually sitting here
Okay.
in okay.
I'll talk about Andor. So. All right, Larry, we promise we'll be quiet.
Okay.
You can finish what you're saying.
Brent, shut up.
Racist.
Oh,
Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. All right.
I'm sorry. Do you have another rally you need to get to? Anyway,
Wow.
I don't know what it is about the word rally that makes Michael laugh so hard, but I love it.
oh my gosh. You have to watch the last episode we just did.
Who? The series Andor is basically his origin story. It's how he got involved with the rebellion, how he got started, and how he grows from a very reluctant participant to a leader in the rebellion. Season 2 is now out. There are currently, as of this recording, 9 episodes available, and they're doing something really interesting with this season. They're dropping 3 episodes at a time, and those 3 episodes make up a mini story arc that then contributes to the greater story. There are 3 more episodes yet to drop. They will drop on May the 13th of this year. And that will be the series finale. We have been told that there are only going to be 2 seasons of Andor, so presumably it will take us very close to the moment where Cassian starts on his new. I said it right.
No, I was just laughing at the June bug that came flying by.
I will. Sorry, squirrel.
Squirrel.
It'll take us right up to the moment, the period of time preceding Rogue One.
Is
all right?
it true that they were only going to do 1 season, and because it was so successful that they decided they
I
were
don't know
gonna
the
do
answer
2?
to that
I don't
question.
know. Yeah.
But although that seems
Plausible.
fair because
Yeah.
because the first season of Andor was it wasn't just some of the best writing in the Star Wars universe to me. It was
Freaking epic.
Some of the best writing, period. Isaac Asimov said that good science fiction is ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances.
Yes.
And what Andor is basically it's a political thriller set in the Star Wars universe.
Yep.
And it is fantastic. You are on the edge of your seat all the time. There's all this tension. There's all this duplicity. There's, everybody seems to have their own separate agenda. It's basically showing you the beginnings of the Rebel Alliance and how uncoordinated and uncooperative they all are with each other.
As most terrorists are.
And, wow.
That's right.
Also, yes. But season 2 is, to me, it's a sort of a giant leap forward in the storytelling of this particular universe. and it's absolutely fantastic. Like I said, they are releasing 3 episodes at a time, and you just want to watch them back to back to back because you just cannot stop. I personally cannot stop watching this. So Cassian Andor is played by Diego Luna. Stellan Skarsgård plays
Luthen
Rail,
So
who is
amazing.
essentially the guy who's sort of organizing the Rebel Alliance and
Not
getting
running
it started.
around naked around Stonehenge.
Yeah.
No, not doing that.
Different franchise.
Different franchise, different universe.
Is it though? Is it though?
Well, it's still under the Disney umbrella, but whatever. So let's get into this, you guys. Now, full disclosure, we're about to spoil some stuff for you if you have not already seen the show, because we cannot wait to talk about it. And further disclosure, Brent and I have watched the 9 episodes that have already dropped on Disney Plus. Micah is only on episode 6.
Yeah, and by the time this drops, the final 3 will have come out.
Yes.
but we
Who's
don't know what's
seen
gonna happen.
Thunderbolts?
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Whatever.
Yeah, suck
Is
it.
this? I'm sorry. Is this the episode about Thunderbolts?
It's not.
Okay,
but, you know,
then.
suck
Here
it
we
anyways.
go. I'm going to start with you, Brent, and I'm going to ask you, in the pantheon of Star Wars stories, where does Andor fit in terms of the storytelling and the overall arc of looking big picture, but this is kind of small picture, right? Which last week we talked about Daredevil, who's a street level superhero, right? Seems to me that Andor is sort of a street level rebel. There are all these giant things taking place, and he's just, focused on what's in front of him. But in terms of the storytelling, where do you think this sits?
Well, I have 2 words to describe Andor. Brilliant.
I will accept that.
So we were talking about how it's a political thriller, and I was thinking about this as I was watching the last 3 episodes, that the whole this is a story that would be good no matter where it was set, no matter what time period it was set in, no matter what geolocation it was set in.
It could have been a World War II political
It could have been
thriller.
World War II. Yeah, it could have been American Revolution. It could be anything. So all of the Star Warsy stuff is just kind of ancillary.
Right.
It's just kind of there to support. There's not Jedis running around killing people. I mean, the blasters aren't a thing. The stormtroopers are there, but they're bad. Soldiers.
They're backdrop.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like that's not the focus of this, which is really cool. It's just they have really focused on the storytelling.
They focused on the people.
Yeah, the people in the storytelling.
And this is what is interesting to me, because we have several characters in this series who work for the Empire.
Right.
And we unlike the first 3 films, 4, 5, and 6, where if you're wearing one of those gray uniforms, you're just an evil bad person.
Yeah.
We're actually seeing them as humans now. Humans with real world problems, humans who question what they're being asked to do.
Yeah, and we actually talked about this. Several episodes ago, 5, 6 episodes ago, about how it's becoming more prominent. Like it's always been a mechanism of storytelling, but lately I've noticed, and especially in movies and stuff, it's becoming more prominent where they're humanizing the bad guys.
Yeah.
And so they're showing you the other perspective of that.
That's a Disney trait lately.
Yeah, like,
though. I mean,
it's
they're doing
exactly-
that with MCU
yeah.
and Star Wars.
Yeah, it's like even with Thanos, it's like he thought he was on a mission and he thought he was doing good.
Yeah, you started
right?
to empathize with him.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, it is overcrowded. Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
get rid
I
of
mean,
the
is he
people.
wrong?
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. So one of the things that the writing in Andor has absolutely nailed is the human aspect of, and this is what's good science fiction. Good science fiction to me is you can see yourself as one of those characters.
Right.
Yeah.
And regardless of the fact that it takes place in a galaxy far, far away, a long time ago.
Any movie, really.
Right. But particularly this one, because you have diametrically opposed human beings who all want the same thing for their lives.
Right.
Right? It's just about how they're going about getting it. And
Except for Director Krennic. That dude's just evil.
in
In
one
the
of the
best way.
One of the things I love about Krennic in this series is because right now he's ascendant.
Yeah.
So his star is on the rise
Right.
with the Emperor.
Right.
And even with Moff Tarkin. But when we get to Rogue One, Tarkin clearly sees him as a threat and cuts the rug out from under him.
Right.
But in this one, he is just, he just thinks he's the shit.
Yeah.
And there are all these characters that play these important parts, and there's different aspects of humanity. So, for example, Luthen's assistant, I can't remember her name. Do you remember her name?
I don't.
So she's the one
I
who...
should, but I don't.
Excuse me.
Brown hair, really cute.
She works at the shop with him, at the
Yeah.
Antiquities.
Yeah.
But she is his right hand.
Yeah.
And she is very about the rebellion. Like, she doesn't think about people as people. She thinks about them as pawns or pieces on a chessboard, right?
And she doesn't take crap from Luthen.
Which, he kind of needs that. But then you look at the actual soldiers in the field, and you've got this wide variety of characters. So you've got Cassian, who is very clearly conflicted, not about what he's doing, but about what the cost is. And, of course, his love interest is Bix, and played, what is her name? She's so good.
I don't know.
I remember her in Six Underground.
Adria Arjona.
Yes.
Super hot.
Thanks, Micah, for that character description.
Am I wrong?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying you're a little shallow.
Is it Vel Sartha? Is that the assistant?
Let's see.
Is that her?
No.
Hmm.
No, that is that is the rebel soldier who was in a relationship with Senta.
Is it Claudia Markey?
Let's see. Yep, that's her. Anyway, what I'm saying is you get a lot of different perspectives in every single episode. Now, some focus more on the people on the ground. Some focus more on the political players in Coruscant. For example, Luthen is one. Mon Mothma is one. And they unfortunately had to recast Bail Organa.
Yep.
And that had nothing to do with Jimmy Smits not wanting to come back and reprise the character. It had everything to do with scheduling. Unfortunately, this happens.
Yeah.
However, I will tell you, and you're not there yet.
I was going to say, is that post episode 6?
Yes.
It is. Benjamin Bratt is now Bail
I'm
Organa.
okay with
and
that.
I'm going to
He's
tell
good.
you
I'm
straight
okay
up
with that.
He is good.
that dude nails the character.
Because he nails all things.
Yeah. Yeah. He's so good.
Not in that way.
And he...
Brent is looking at me. He's giving me the face.
No,
It's
I
all
was
his
looking
fault.
at you, anticipating what was coming next.
Shiza.
Anyway, I remember when I was in 5th grade.
I'm still there.
Benjamin Bratt does an excellent job of continuing the role that Jimmy Smits started. Just fantastic. So you've got all these disparate characters all hurtling toward what is now going to become. So I will spoil this much for you. In episodes 7, 8, and 9, we are about to see. So far the rebellion has been operating in the background.
Yeah.
It's been little stuff here and there. It's been collecting. They have this whole thing on Gorman, which is a planet that is just about to be consumed by the Empire. But of course, they have to make it political. They have to create a smear campaign against the entire Gormans. Shades of Nazi Germany. But the rebellion now is about to go loud.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But I am getting ahead of myself. But let's talk about the beginning of season 2. At the beginning of season 2, Cassian is on yet another mission. He's clearly been doing this for a while.
Yep.
And he's trying to steal a prototype tie.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love this.
Oh, it's so good.
And but even then,
What is this?
it's not just about that, because there is a young woman who is an Imperial tech who has agreed to help him steal this thing, and she's scared.
Yeah.
And there's this wonderful scene in the cafeteria where this is what I love about the character of Cassian Andor. He sees everybody as a human.
Mm-hmm.
And so he understands how scary this is, this moment. And she's like, I know I'm not supposed to look at you. I know I'm not supposed to ask any questions. And he says, you're risking everything. You can ask me whatever you want.
Yeah. Does he spend most of his time actually trying to teach and train people to be spies?
Mm-mm.
In that first 6 no, wait. Those first 6 episodes, every time he encounters somebody that's in the resistance or is doing something,
No, he's trying to help them keep their cool so they don't blow the
He's
mission.
trying to keep them alive.
that
Yeah.
sounds like training to me.
Wow.
How to Be a Better Spy by Cassian
It's
Andor.
also called manipulation.
Is it though?
It
I
totally
mean,
is.
because so the episode that I
totally
had
is.
just seen about him talking to the people that were in their very small town hall.
Yeah,
and
the
he's actually training them. He's like, if you really want to be a good spy,
Well, again,
you need to not do this and you need to not do that.
again, but there's a scene. I can't remember if it's. It may be post. It may be somewhere in 7 or 8. But there's a conversation. So he comes back from. Cassian goes to Gorman, checks things out, and he determines that they're not ready.
Right.
He determines that they are just going to mess it up. But if you go back a few more episodes, you remember that Dedra, the Imperial Security Service person who's been put in charge of Gorman, said to Krennic, what you need is a Gorman resistance that can be counted on to make the wrong decisions.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're doing it.
Yeah.
And they're absolutely playing into the Empire's hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a part of spycraft is being able to read people and getting them to do what you want them to do.
Yeah.
In this case, I think Cassian is very honest in his assessment and says, you guys aren't ready. And he takes that back to Luthen and he says, they're not ready. Luthen gives him a hard time. It's like, you want to be a rebel leader or whatever. And he goes, you're thinking like a thief. He says, I'm thinking like a soldier. And he goes, I need you to think like a leader.
Yeah.
Oh.
And meanwhile, behind Cassian's back, Luthen puts 2 more rebel players into play on Gorman, and those are the 2 women that we've seen. I can't remember their names right now because the Gormans have a plan. Cinta and the other one. Anyway, Brent's going to look that up because Hawk is not here. We miss you,
Hawk.
buddy. We miss you.
Well, I just had it.
So behind, and again, this is what spies do. They go behind each other's back. So he goes behind Cassian's back and puts these other 2 assets into play who are now going to help the Gormans pull off the heist that they want to pull off, which again is playing into the Empire's hands because they want the Gormans to have weapons so that they can say they were fired upon and it was an insurrection and we unfortunately had to wipe out the entire damn planet. But it's those kinds of twists and turns that you get in every episode that makes this such a good show.
All right. To me, that's a good place to stop and do an ice break.
Is it time for it? Ice break.
Hit it. All right, we are back from our ice break. Now, boys, let's try this with the ice in it. Even smoother. I don't understand what's happening here because, look, I have drunk a lot of rye, and I've never had a rye that was this smooth before.
I'm still getting a little bit of the pepper. It has smoothed out. It's
Yeah.
not as fiery, but there's still pepper in it.
Yeah. So I can tell that it is, in fact, a rye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
no
it's just
burns.
not drinking like a rye that I'm used to.
Yeah, every rye I've ever had has punched me in the face.
Well, what did you do?
Well, I mean, I called it names. And some people could make the argument that I deserved it.
Mm-hmm. I'm loving this cigar, you guys. This is so good. All right, we are talking about
I'm happy.
Andor season 2, which, by the way, I know you guys have seen this.
Yep.
Have you seen lately with the drop of the Andor episodes what they've been doing with the Disney bug logo? Because they have Disney Plus, and then they have the arc that goes across the top.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lightsaber that's burning that
What?
arc.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, that reminds me
go
of
back
the
and
old
watch.
Lucas games.
Yeah.
They would. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
They
the
have
Lucas
like a little
logo,
figure of
LucasArts
the
logo.
logo that would like.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what they're doing.
Oh my gosh! I need to have better attention.
go watch that because it's just a little thing for
Yep.
us Star Wars nerds that Disney's doing. I love it.
Thank you, Disney.
Micah, you're 6 episodes in. I'd like to get your take on the season so far.
All right. So one of the things that I'm having a problem with is the setup. And I feel like I should be a little bit more excited about what I'm seeing. But I think one of the things that I'm enjoying the most, I got to tell you this. When Cassian in the first episodes is doing this test pilot thing, one of the things that we're really used to is that every pilot that jumps into a ship can somehow, fly it flawlessly. I mean, Luke spends most of his time on the ground. He gets in a T-16 and he's good to go, but then he jumps in he's like,
Well, he had a T-16.
That's what I'm saying. He jumped into T-16. He's good to go. But then it's like, oh my gosh, we've got this X-wing.
Yeah.
And the guy's
No problem.
like, he's like, hey man, do you think you can handle this? And Biggs is like, oh man, he's so good. He's like a brush pilot from the gods. And he gets in there and he flies it immaculately. So one of the things I loved
Well,
about
not
it,
immaculately, because at the very beginning he flies through a fireball. He gets too close.
so you should have said actually before
Actually,
that.
I'm just saying. No, I get what you're saying. So that's the
So-
issue. That's the issue I had with Force Awakens and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like Rey's never been in a ship in her entire life,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden she's just piloting. the
Yeah,
balloon,
she's
talking
an
like it's
amazing
nothing.
pilot.
Yeah.
So Cassian gets in this prototype ship where all the controls are backwards, and he's bouncing off the walls.
Yeah.
He's blowing stuff up. It is.
how about that Gatling gun? On the
Awesome.
Come on.
So
Yeah.
good. But that's one of the things that I absolutely loved about it, was that it showed the inexperience of a spy
Yeah.
who's experienced trying to get out and work a situation, and he can't, but he does.
Yeah. I think you're right, because honestly, and again, this is going back to the old Star Wars, right? The 4, 5, and 6, right? Where it's swashbuckling adventure, but with humor in it as well.
Yep.
So when he grabs that throttle and pushes forward and flies straight back into the wall,
So good.
that was really good.
I loved it.
And then he sticks his arm in the thing, and he's like, I don't even know what this does. And he wipes out a company of stormtroopers that are trying to take him down.
or he's captured,
Yeah.
right? And he's and I'm still not completely aware of what was going on in that situation. He's captured by these people that are stranded on the planet. We don't get further detail.
We did get detail.
We did.
Okay, fill me in a second.
Okay.
So, but during that entire moment, he's training them on how to be better at espionage.
Well, because they suck at everything.
Right.
They're just dumb.
Yes.
So this is the militia that he runs into.
Yeah.
All right.
Because he was supposed to take that prototype TIE, meet another pilot on this one planet, on a jungle planet,
And stuff doesn't go as you planned.
who's then going to take it to its final destination. Instead, he finds out that guy was killed by this group of
Morons.
rebel fighters who
I mean-
are just really stupid.
Yeah, I mean rebel fighters, not morons.
No, they're both of those things.
both of those things.
Because he even says he names their outfit.
Yeah.
And says, we supplied you guys. We're on the same side. And,
Yeah.
of course, they're dumb and don't believe him and whatever. So it is kind of funny to me that he just sits back and watches this group basically self-destruct.
Yeah.
So he can just get the hell out of there
I thought
and
that
get
was
on with
amazing.
his mission. Yeah.
But once we started getting into the setup, past Mon Mothma's amazing rave dance,
oh, man.
come on.
At the wedding.
Ah, so good. And this is something that I've been really excited to talk to you guys about. She starts talking to this one dude. Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
She starts talking to this one dude. She gets completely unnerved, and I missed it. What was she so unnerved about?
Okay.
Tay?
Yeah, Tay.
Okay.
It was Tay.
So Tay is a childhood friend of hers.
Yeah.
And he helped finance the rebellion.
Yeah.
However, the irony of his involvement is that the rebellion's activities were affecting some of his investments, and
Yeah.
he was losing a lot
He
of
was
money.
losing money.
So she started to realize at that moment he was about to turn because he was losing too much money.
Okay.
Yeah.
He in one scene at the wedding, he not so subtly suggests that if he were bribed, everything would be okay.
Yeah.
And so she realizes that he's got her over a barrel.
Yes.
And then she explains this to Luthen, who's also at the party, because he brings the wedding gift.
Right.
And Luthen says something to the effect of, Taman, you need to be protected.
Yep.
And she says, I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, how nice for you.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
he was basically telling her, we're getting rid of Tay. So when you see Tay go to his car, it is not his regular driver,
Right.
but
It is
Cinta.
I remember
It's
that. I
Cinta,
remember
yeah.
that.
And she says something like, yeah, he called in sick or whatever. And then Tay drives off with Cinta behind the wheel, and we never see him again.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I watched it and I was like, you know what? When we do this episode, this is the conversation that I was the most excited to have.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's, Rogue One, we got to see the seedy underside of the rebellion, and
Yeah.
now we're seeing the backstory to all that.
Yep.
I mean, their hands weren't clean. I mean,
No.
they had to do a lot of a lot of stuff that you wouldn't expect them to have to do.
Well, and then there's that one line, and it's my favorite Luthen line because it really sums up his character in one sentence. Because Cassian comes back from Gorman and basically says they're not ready. He says they are a rich planet, politically connected. They would be huge for us. And Cassian says, and what if it burns? Luthen just says, it'll burn very brightly.
Yeah.
And so you see in that moment how far he's willing to sacrifice a planet to further the cause of the rebellion.
All right. So I'm excited to hear this because when I was watching it for the first time, I was like, you know what? I got to get on the show and have these guys set myself straight.
Yeah.
So thanks.
Yeah.
Can we talk? I mean, apropos of nothing, can we talk about the first third of this cigar? Because I am enjoying this. This is darkness personified.
Oh, yeah.
They could easily have called this black hole. It is. I mean, literally, this cigar is sucking in available light. I can see it happening.
Oh, gosh, you guys were right, man. I mean, I have to admit that a lot of my cigar choices happen because of the color of the wrapper. And that's
fair.
not a secret. That's not a secret. But I got to tell you, everything I'm experiencing with this is so dark, so rich. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, if you're not into something this heavy, I mean, I don't know if this is your bag.
Well, and also, to date, I'm not going to say that they don't exist, but to date, every cigar I've had from La Gloria Cubana has been really good. I've enjoyed it. So,
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
That makes me happy because when I choose a crap cigar, like in the Big Trouble episode, which I can't stop going back to, when I grabbed that cigar, I was like, no.
And
No.
honestly, La Gloria Cubana, most of their line is very reasonably priced.
right.
Except in Highland Village.
Except, well, yeah. Okay, there you go.
Because of reasons.
But anyway.
Yeah,
But-
and it pairs really well with this.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it really does.
Which, again, I don't understand what's happening because this is seriously unlike any rye I've ever had. I'm used to the super spice and a bit of some burn, which is why mostly when I drink rye whiskeys, I mix them in cocktails. I make all kinds of cocktails with rye whiskey. I'll make a Manhattan. I'll sometimes make an old fashioned. I'll make a Dead Man's Wallet. But this, I would not want to mix. I like drinking it straight, and I've never said that about any other rye. And it's a Texas rye.
Do you guys ever spend any time down in downtown Denton?
No.
All right, there's a place...
Only to make casual conversation.
Okay. There's a place called Graffiti Pasta, which is one of my favorites because not only is the food amazing, but the cocktails are appropriately themed.
Is that where the Mr. Gaddy's used to be?
No. And, no, and. Thank you, Larry. I needed that face. So there's this cocktail that they have called the John McClane, and it's made with rye and various other wonderfulness. It's
And the Nakatomi liqueur.
Yes, it's basically an old fashioned, but it is special. It is absolutely wonderful, and they actually have a Force Awakened.
Oh, wow.
And a blue milk.
Nice.
Yes.
See? It all comes back to Star Wars, guys.
It does.
Now I got to go there.
It all comes back to Star
We could
Wars.
all go.
We should do it.
I mean, not tonight. But...
I mean, tonight. I mean,
okay. But only after we stop and get Mike a
All right, well, we gotta
cheeseburger
go.
for the ride.
Burger
Good night,
King.
everybody.
Yay, Burger King.
Let's get back to Andor. What is the... Oh, hey, all right, here's one. Now, Micah, you're into 6. We're into 9. Doesn't matter.
All good.
Who is the most compelling character for you right now in the show?
Bix.
Ooh. Okay, let's talk about that.
I was actually about to say, let's
Let's
talk about Vix.
talk about that.
Yeah.
You talk about that
Because
you know
Luthen,
why.
Luthen has he has a conversation with Andor. So, Andor's off on that mission, and when he goes to Gorman, and Luthen shows up at their
At the
flat-
hideout
at
on
the
Coruscant.
flat, the hideout, yeah.
The safe
The
house.
safe house.
And has the conversation with Bix, and then Andor finds out about it and gets pissed and goes to Luthen.
Wait, isn't that safe house on Coruscant?
It
It is.
All right.
But Luthen has a very direct conversation with him saying, Bix has problems. She's got issues. And one of these days, you're going to have to decide how much of an issue it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just see his face right then and there when he realizes, holy crap, if she doesn't get better, how does this end?
Yeah.
Well, let's back up and go to why she has those issues in the first place.
Because of the interrogation.
Well, not just that, but in the second season, early on, they're out at that farming community, and this has never happened in any Star Wars movie or show.
Yep.
There is an attempted rape scene.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where Bix is about to be raped by an Imperial lieutenant, and she ends up killing him, and she
should.
And then the guy who was the lieutenant's escort is saying, "Come out," and she says out loud, "He tried to rape me." And the guy's like, "Come out and show me your hands." Well, he eventually gets blown away. But that was a big moment in the Star Wars universe because nothing like that has ever happened
they were
before.
touching on a subject that Star Wars does not touch on.
Yeah.
So last season, Luthen Rail had that amazing monologue. I mean, to me, just made the series. I mean, that was like, he should have won an award for that.
Uh-huh.
That was incredible. Or the writing should have won an award for that. So this season we get to see Mon Mothma's monologue.
Yes.
Her speech to the
Luthen gave a good one this season too, though. What have I sacrificed?
Yeah.
When he meets the guy in the elevator.
Yeah.
Episode?
I mean 4 or 5 maybe. I don't remember.
Okay.
But he because so there's an Imperial. He's part of
ISB.
He's the ginger guy with the ginger mustache, kind of thin.
Yeah.
Gingers.
And he's meeting Luthen, and Luthen's pissed off because he hasn't seen him in 3 months, and he's like, and then at some point in the conversation, and the guy never gets out of the lift, right? He stays in the lift, and Luthen's outside the lift, and he asks Luthen, "Well, what have you sacrificed?" or something like that, and Luthen then tells him, which is basically everything.
Yeah.
And that was a good one. But you're right, that Mon Mothma.
The speech.
Oh my gosh. The one she gave in the Senate?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's episode 9.
Yeah, I was going to say because...
That is episode 9.
All right.
That is the one where the Empire has clearly crafted the narrative around Gorman, that it was an insurrection, that they had been for months and months, defying Imperial norms, as they call it. And then what I loved about that particular scene is that Bail Organa intercedes because they're not going to let Mon talk.
Yeah.
Because every other senator that speaks is in support of the Empire and the action that they took on Gorman. But then Bail gets out and basically uses a regulation that the Emperor himself imposed to allow Mon Mothma to speak.
Yeah.
And she gets out and delivers this. It's a freaking soliloquy,
I can't
man.
wait to see it.
Yeah.
And this is the plan, and they know it because she delivers this speech, and because she specifically says the monster we're all needing to be watching out for is Emperor Palpatine.
Oh,
she names him.
Yeah.
What?
And then now she's got to run for her life.
Yeah.
Like she immediately, the Senate saucer draws back, and then she's got to run for it. Because they're
oh my gosh!
they
now I'm
try
excited.
To they try to shut the Imperial feed down, but not before she names Emperor Palpatine as the perpetrator of this nonsense.
Boom! Mic drop.
And this is like I said, episode 9 is where they're gearing up. The rebellion is about to go loud. And another thing that they do, and I love this, and it took me a couple of episodes to clue in on it, is at the beginning of every episode, you'll see a little title card that says BBY3 or BBY2. Yeah. And it is 3 years or 2 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Counting down to New Hope.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Oh my God, you guys have made me so excited.
So what I also thought was kind of, another way they kind of made this appeal to audiences today is, so you remember the scene with Krennic when he's telling everybody why they're selected, why they want Gorman and why they're selected. And then you basically have those two what are basically just social media guys, and they're like, we crafted this narrative, and just basically they're propaganda in social media, right? And so it kind of ties into today with what what goes on. It's like you can't trust anything you see in social media.
Yeah.
Right. Don't trust anything you see. Kind of, they go and explain about why do people think that about Gorman? Because we made them think that.
Right.
Through our campaigns and stuff.
I have to ask you, as two guys who used to work in marketing, who used to work for advertising agency, how did you feel about that? Were you like, oh, yep, that's real?
Oh, totally.
Totally. That's what marketing is.
Exactly.
You sway people's opinion towards something.
Like
Absolutely.
I hated those two guys in that meeting more than I hated Krennic, more than I hated the Emperor. I was like, if we could get rid of people like you,
they were just skeezy.
You know what?
Skeezy.
Larry, if you had known me 15 years ago with all the ad campaigns I was involved in.
Use your words, buddy.
Yes, I'm working at
Ad
campaigns.
Back in the day when I was doing my
Yes, ad campaigns. It was so.
Make me a sandwich,
much
eat it.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I was so that because that was my job.
Right.
Yeah.
It was sell you things to get your kids drunk. It was give your kids diabetes. It was make them fat. All those things.
Yeah.
So yes, I was one of those people you wanted to
But
see
you
ended.
know, Micah,
You're so dramatic. End it.
unpleasant as that was for you, I'm sure, it still wasn't genocide.
Yeah, I know. The money was good, but
Well, I mean, your tagline is, hey, it wasn't genocide.
wow. I mean,
But was
did
it
you
though?
die?
Was it though?
Did you die though?
Did you die, though? But did you die?
Did you die?
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ken John.
So anyway, it's just, I think it's brilliant. Like I said, that's what I love about the series is they don't make the special effects the star of the show. They don't make the
You're right.
the
It was the
settings.
meat.
They don't make the settings the star of the show. They don't make any of that stuff.
The writing. The writing.
It's all
just-
about the people and their stories and the beginning of
Yes.
the rebellion and everything they have to
Yes.
do to
That
get there and
kept
stuff.
you
and
invested.
everything else was just ancillary.
I
Yeah.
will say this, though, and I just found this out today when I was doing my research for the show. Pinewood Studios, that whole giant square on Gorman and Palmo,
Yeah.
that's a real set. None of that is CG. They built that at
Wow.
Pinewood Studios in London.
Wow.
That whole giant square. They built that.
Oh my gosh! Did they talk about the construction of the second third of the cigar?
I don't think they did, but let's talk about that, Micah.
All right.
The construction of the second third?
Well, we can talk about construction and also flavor profile because for me, this is holding up very well. Now, usually with a bigger range cigar, and I've already had to do this, I usually have to relight one or two times.
Yeah, I just had to.
Because it's just a bigger range cigar. So if you put it down for even a little bit, it's going to start to peter out. But, damn it, Micah.
We have a friend named Peter. I could not stop.
That is not what you were thinking.
It was exactly what I was thinking.
Was it, though?
It was.
Okay. Hey, Peter.
What up, Peter?
Grab your pipe, son. Let's go. Peter's a piper. That's not even a joke. Peter's a piper.
But he
anyway,
didn't pick anything.
no, he definitely not pickled peppers. But the burn is very even.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Very even.
it's still a very good draw,
Good smoke
despite
plume.
the large ring gauge.
Yeah, it's good construction, good smoke plume, good burn, good ash.
And let's talk about that flavor.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so rich.
I'm going to go on Amazon while you guys are talking about Andor, and I'm going to buy a wingback leather chair because I just feel like I feel like all three of us need to be sitting in one at this point.
One
right?
day,
Like,
we do.
this show is going to be nothing but wingback chairs.
and mahogany wood.
yup.
Yeah.
Oh, get you some.
Well, if we can sell more of those brown bottle bags, man.
That's right. You mean the thongs? The thongs will send
The
us
thongs.
to
The thongs will sell. The thongs will sell. We need to do a campaign about that. I need to get my advertising guys on this right away. We need to sell 10,000 thongs by deadline Sunday.
We have so many things to buy, but please buy the thong.
So
So rich. This is my happy place. I've said that 1,000 times, but it is
More like 3,
yeah.
but whatever.
3,000
Or 3.
or 3.
Whatever. Whatever. Okay. Did anyone answer my question of most compelling character? So you said Bix.
He said Bix.
Who did you think?
Mon Mothma.
Oh, dude! First of all,
Genevieve O'Reilly.
Australia, right?
I think so, yeah.
She's killing it.
Yeah.
First of all, she actually looks like the younger version of the actress who played Mon Mothma
Doesn't she?
in the films.
Agreed. 1,000%.
And the depth of character that she is able to pull off in this, because she's got the public face that she has to put on.
Yep.
But then she's got these private fears. But then she's in this marriage that is clearly a marriage of political convenience.
Yep.
Well, they all are.
And
Yep.
and I absolutely love the wedding scene where she's just raving,
Yeah.
where she's dancing like crazy.
When the disco droid comes out.
Yes, Disco Droid. By the way, I need you to write that song tonight.
Yeah,
it's
Disco
called
Droid.
Disco Droid.
Yeah, disco droid.
In the 70s, Rick, what's his name, gave us Disco Duck.
Yep.
It's now time for Disco Droid. But I actually just read an interview that she did with Vanity Fair about that scene where she talks about the fact that all of this stuff is going on and she can't talk to anybody about any of it. And she finally clues into the fact that, her daughter hates her.
Mm-hmm.
She is in a very tenuous, dangerous political position, and she knows that she just said goodbye to her childhood friend for the last time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is the wild, crazy dancing is the only release that she has from all of that.
Can we talk about the daughter relationship for a moment?
Sure.
That really hit me in the face.
I know, when she goes off
with a brick.
With that speech about you don't have to do this. And
Yes.
I was like, I wish you were drunk.
Mm-hmm.
That
It's like, dang.
that hit me like a brick.
Yeah.
I was sitting there watching that scene, thinking to myself that the daughter might actually have some sort of realization, and she was like, "You're crazy."
Yeah.
Like everything that we're going.
Well,
through.
first of all, she's the daughter is part of some Chilandrian religious order.
Yeah.
So that's already one huge strike.
Yeah.
So she's just like, it's tradition. You don't with tradition, as they say on Letterkenny.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was heartbreaking, dude. It was heartbreaking.
I felt for Mon in that one moment. I was heartbroken for her.
Yep.
When her daughter basically left her in the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then there's this great moment, and I know you guys saw it, where the daughter says what she says, and then she straightens up. She's getting ready to walk out, and Mom just goes, "You're to walk behind me."
Yeah.
Like, if
Yeah.
this is how we're going to play it, we're going to play it
yeah,
all the
you
way.
wanna play this
Get your
game?
ass
We're gonna
behind
do
me,
the thing.
child.
Yeah.
Oh, so
And
good.
In the other relationship, I think, they really explored this season was the relationship between Cyril and Dedra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it when his mother came to visit.
Oh, that was
Oh
such
my
a
gosh.
good
That
scene.
is so good.
And he's laying in the, he has to get it from the table
He's
at one
just
point.
fetal on the
And he's
bed.
feeling bit, and I saw this meme that says, Cyril is all of us,
Yeah.
basically. Because, oh my gosh, that mother. But I just love how Dedra just put her in her place. She's just like,
so
this
good.
is how it's going to be.
Yep.
If you want to see your son, this is how it's
Yep.
going to be.
And can we talk just for a moment about how
Dedra?
Dedra really needs to have angry sex? Turn off the lights, and she's frowning.
Turn off
But
the
she's always
lights.
frowning. I mean, she just has that.
She's imperial.
Yeah.
She's like textbook.
However,
imperial.
we do get to see a little break in her spirit, kind of on the Gorman. You'll see it in the last 3 episodes.
Okay.
She's kind of sitting there going, she knows it's not right, but she's going to do it anyway because she's very duty bound.
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And she cares about Cyril. To what degree I don't know.
Yeah.
But she's trying to get him off. She's like, get out of here because it's about to get bad. And Cyril's
Yep.
like, what's going on? He's like, was this the plan the whole time? Because he had no idea. He thought he was there for another reason. He
Yep.
thought he was there to basically weed out rebel spies and find the rebel alliance.
Yeah, he had no
And then he
idea
comes to
what
the
was going on.
realization that the reason they were there was to foster this whole Gorman narrative.
They are going to mine. They are going to mine this planet
And
for
he start-
materials to
Yeah.
make a super weapon.
And he starts to realize that.
What super weapon could you be talking about?
I don't know.
I don't know. What super weapon was in Star Wars? I never
I
saw
mean,
one.
I don't
What are you
never
talking
even
about?
saw one.
But there's a scene. So there's they bring in the scarred face Imperial.
Yeah.
And
Who
there's
please tell me that the minute you saw him, you're kind of going, is that the House of Cards guy,
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey? Come on, he looks like Kevin Spacey.
Now I can see Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
At the time, I could not. But there is a moment where he and Dedra are talking, and he reminds her, I am the gun, but you are the trigger.
Yep.
And so ultimately, the massacre on Gorman is laid at her feet.
Yep.
She is responsible for it.
There's a massacre?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, it was kind of being telegraphed the whole time, but yeah, so there's definitely going to be some bad shit going down
for the
on
second
Gorman.
time, because there was the massacre with Grand Moff Tarkin.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But that was not on the scale that we are about to see.
No.
Flights to Alderaan canceled.
All right. Tell the audience what.
Oh
why.
my gosh! So
Tell the audience why.
My wife sent me a picture of an actual photograph of the flight schedule.
It was a flight schedule at Heathrow Airport.
in Heathrow that had all of these various flights going to various places in the Star Wars universe, and the one that you had to look for, it said Alderaan canceled.
I have to find this.
Oh my god!
I have to find.
Oh
so here
my
it is.
god!
So it's a departure list. All right.
Yes.
9:30 Tatooine, flight number R2D2 on time. 10:15 Camino, flight number BOBA delayed. 11:20 to Hoth, flight number C3PO delayed. This is 1400 hours flight to Kashyyyk, flight number WOOKIE, gate open, enter security at gate, all crossbows must be checked in. At 15:15 we have a departure to Andor, flight number WICKET, it is on time. 16:05 to Alderaan, canceled. This is actually my favorite. At flight 1820, flight to Kessel, flight number Han 5010. Next info at this aircraft change, flight duration now less than 12 parsecs. And flight 1945 to the Death Star, flight number TIE 11382, gate open, allow extra time for boarding, possibly a trap.
Oh my gosh! I have
Good on you, Heathrow.
So this T-shirt that I'm wearing today is my favorite Star Wars T-shirt because it's classic.
I have that T-shirt.
I
Yep.
believe you.
Actually, that's your T-shirt, Brett.
Yeah.
I stole his T-shirt.
He did indeed.
But the one that I had before, and I don't know where it is. I don't even know why I would have parted with it. But it was this wonderful weather report for Alderaan.
Oh yeah. Where the degree, it's like 5,000 degrees.
Yeah. No, it was great because
It's like 70 and clear,
it was
and then
like
5,000 degrees.
Monday, high of 78, low of 52. Yeah. Tuesday, high of 82, low of 62. Wednesday, 15,000 degrees.
Oh, no.
And then the rest of the weather report is empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that
No
stuff.
further information available
Oh my
at
gosh.
this time.
So good.
Okay.
Now,
So,
Go ahead.
so now we get into episode 7, 8, 9, and this is when Cassian is wanting to get out of the rebellion. Like he's done.
Wait, out?
He's done his time.
No way.
Yes, and so there's a scene where he comes back, and Bix. Now they're living on Yavin, right? And which was cool because you saw in the very first 3 episodes when he was stuck there with the militia. When he finally takes off in the ship, he takes off, and you see the temples on Yavin. You realize he's on Yavin the whole time, right?
Yeah.
But so there's this scene where he comes back and he's telling Bix, he's like, I'm out. This is it. I'm done. We can go. You and I can go away. We can find a place. We can have a life. Everything we're fighting for. And she's like, isn't that what we're fighting for, though? You know. And before that had happened, they were walking through the camp, and there was this force healer that knows he's coming by, and he's got this blaster burn that won't heal, and he thinks that they're charlatans and it's just a bunch of hocus pocus and stuff. And so she comes over and she wants to try to help him heal her blaster wound, which she actually does. But she also sees something in him at the time. And so, her and Bix had this conversation about how Andor is like a messenger. Like he has a purpose in this, right?
Yeah.
And he needs to fulfill his purpose no matter what. So when he comes home, he's having that conversation with her about how he wants to get out. He's done his time. Let's get out of here. And she doesn't say anything, but you can see in her eyes, I knew when that conversation was happening, the way she was looking at him, that she was about to leave. And then he wakes up the next morning and she's gone. She's like, I can't hold you back from fulfilling your destiny.
she leaves him
And you can't do it
video
while,
message.
Yeah, you can't do it while I'm here. So I have to go so you can fulfill your destiny,
Yeah.
right?
Do you know what actually threw me, like big time threw me, is that I knew her name was Bix, but then every time somebody would mention it, I could have swore they said Biggs.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh my gosh,
No, that's a
big
dude.
episode 4 throwback.
That's a
and then
dude.
it wasn't.
Yeah, Biggs Dark
Well, I
Lighter's a
know
guy.
it was. I know it was. But
Wrong
I was like,
character.
oh my gosh, is Biggs actually this far into it? He skipped ahead of his involvement in the Rebel Alliance.
Not so much.
Not so much.
No.
Not so much. But that was a
down.
that was a heart-wrenching moment though, because she realizes, and I also think it was a bit of self-awareness for that character that she's broken and she knows she's broken, and she can't be anything but a hindrance to him at this point.
Right.
She's drunk.
And he's ready to
So
to throw it all away
it's the
for
full
her.
circle moment from when he had the conversation with Luthen about how's this going to play out with Bix, because
Yeah.
she's an issue. She's a problem.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
hopped up on the
And he-
spice
and
or
Lu-
whatever she's.
She solves the problem for
Well,
him.
and Luthen's basically telling her she's going to hold you back.
Does she die?
No.
right.
Well, not in these episodes anyway.
Okay.
She just leaves.
She just leaves.
And she says flat out, I don't know where I'm going to go. I just know that I can't be here.
And when you're done, I'll find you. That's what she says.
And then also, during
But
the
she
massacre
won't.
on Gorman, there are these giant Imperial black long-legged droids
The KX droids.
that are killing people. And Cassian
Oh
is
my
about to
gosh.
be taken down by one when one of the Gorman rebels rams into it and breaks it in half. And then, Cassian was like, let's put that on the flight out. Let's go. So when he lands in Yavin, he's like, oh, yeah, we got a KX droid in there. I think I got all the pieces.
Oh my gosh.
And they do rewire him.
And
So
end of episode 9, we get to meet a new character.
I was telling you guys how much I was. I'm going to freely admit this. So up to this point, I'm moderately invested, but I was ready to just shut it down.
No.
And everything that you guys have told me so far, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Go
now
home
I gotta
I
keep
mean,
tonight.
on the Gorman massacre, it was kind of crazy. So they let these these KX droids out, and they are just throwing people around like rag dolls. I mean, literally.
And they're
It's
completely
insane.
bulletproof.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're causing all kinds of havoc. And we do see how Cassian came by a KX droid.
Yeah.
So that is super cool.
How exciting.
Oh, it's very exciting.
Because I love that guy.
It's very exciting.
Is that the new character you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the character that got introduced at the end of
K2SO.
episode 9.
Yep.
Yay!
So it's clearly leading up. So we got 3 more episodes to go that are going to drop on May 13th, and it's obvious that we are hurtling toward the right before the start of Rogue One,
Right.
because we're going to have KX
But
now.
I will tell you, and I was telling Larry this the other day, or maybe yesterday, if they ended Andor's series right now with episode 9, that actually would be sufficient to get you to Rogue One.
Agreed.
But
Agreed.
I'm more than excited to watch 3 more episodes of
Yep,
this.
and see what happens.
Yeah, because actually when that episode starts, I think this is BBY2. So it's not quite close enough there yet. But like I
Yeah.
said, if they had decided to end the series
That's why
at
they're
9,
inching us towards it.
yeah, if they had decided to end the series at 9, it would have worked.
Absolutely.
All right.
I agree. But I think we're going to have to see a few more tragic things happen. Like, I think we're going to have to see the end of Luthen Rail.
Yeah.
Because because Cassian tries really hard when he's getting Mon Mothma out to the safe house and then consequently all the way to Yavin after her speech. He says to Luthen, "You've done enough. You got to come with." And he goes, "Nope,
Yep.
I'm not done."
Yep.
Oh my god.
So
Well,
Luthen
also-
stays behind.
I'm in
So
for a
we're
treat.
clearly going to see the end of Luthen, I think.
So also what I loved in this series is we get to see Saw Gerrera again
Yep.
with all of his limbs.
Yeah. At least right now.
Yeah, but we also find out why he has to use that mask.
And go ahead.
Yeah,
well,
throw it.
because of that chemical that they're extracting that chemical, but he grew up around it, and so he's used to breathing it. But obviously, it's going to have detrimental effects on him.
But he
right?
also thinks that he's immune to its ill
yeah,
effects.
well, because he's a little crazy, and that's the whole thing with Saw
He's
Gerrera.
not a little crazy.
Yeah.
He is 99 shades
Yeah,
of crazy.
don't they actually admit that in the show? I mean, to be part of this, you have to be crazy.
Yeah.
Well, but that's why he ends up leaving the rebellion and doing his own thing,
Yeah.
right? And one of Bick's friends gets caught into that. Wilman gets caught into that. And so we see in the last 3 episodes when Wilman comes back to try to recruit Luthen
Wait,
and say,
Saul gets out? Saw gets out?
Saw?
Yeah.
What do you mean he gets out?
Did you say left the rebellion?
He leaves the rebellion. Yeah.
When we see him in Rogue One, he's doing his own thing.
He doesn't think that they're effective enough, and he goes off and does his own thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
that's when we find him on what was the planet that in Rogue One? Not
Jeddah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
But then he's got no feet, and he's got to
Yeah.
breathe through a mask and whatever.
Yeah.
And he's just completely insane. But as it turns out, he was mostly insane.
Gullet.
I love Forrest Whitaker. I love
Yeah.
everything he does. Did you guys ever see
Yes.
a little bit off Ghost Dog?
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
You said Forrest Whitaker. That's all you had to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ghost Dog, Samurai. So yeah, they're gonna.
Or the crying game.
The crying game. I do think they're gonna wrap up some stuff for us. I suspect we're gonna see the end of Luthen Rail and possibly his right hand. Because it just makes sense that they would
They're gonna
down together.
And he even says, he's even talking to Cassian, and he's like basically saying, "Oh, you think we're both going to get out of this alive?" He even tells him, "This ends with us on the gallows."
Yeah.
He knows what's coming.
Yeah.
It's eventually going to happen.
But that just goes to show his commitment to the cause, right?
Yeah.
Like because there are many moments in season 2 where Cassian is like, "You don't give a crap about people at all, do you?" And he's like, "It's not about the people, dude. It's about the cause."
Yeah.
And so to that point, he is now going, I think, to sacrifice himself for the cause, which he does not, he won't hesitate to do.
Or his limbs.
Well, but mostly his life, I think.
We're talking about
We're talking about Luthen, not Saul.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Saul's just batshit. But you got to have a batshit guy in there, because otherwise, what's the point?
Right.
I'm sad that there's only 2 seasons of this show.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know we're getting it to the end, and it bothers me because honestly, it's some of the best writing in the Star Wars universe.
Oh my gosh, I know. And so I finished watching episode 9, and then Disney Plus goes, Rogue One is next, and starts to bring it. I'm like, not yet.
Not yet. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Quit rushing me.
Although I will tell you that 3 more episodes are going to drop next week, and I'm going to watch them, and then I'm going to watch Rogue One.
Yep.
Oh, totally.
And then episode 4.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Should we tell some jokes?
You know what,
Maybe we should.
Brent? I think we should. But first, I think we need this cool stinger that Brent did, and it's like this.
It's the greatest joke in the world.
Wait. Love that guy. Never get tired of hearing that
Oh my
guy.
gosh, he's amazing.
This segment of the program is called The Greatest Joke in the World. This is where we do 3 rounds of dad jokes and basically try to make each other laugh. And if you laugh at home, even better.
Yep.
So we started last time with Micah?
Mm-hmm.
I think we
so.
did. We're going to start with Brent this time. Because look, last week, honestly, I think was the most we've ever laughed at each other's jokes. And I'm hoping we can recreate that this week, but it just really depends on what everybody brings.
Yeah.
So, Brent, hit us.
Well, my wife said she is tired of my obsession with pasta, and she's threatening to leave me. I'm feeling cannelloni right now.
You can never go wrong with a good pun. You just can't. All right. What do Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh have in common?
What?
Same middle name.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
It's the simple ones.
Yeah, it's the simple ones that get you, right?
Yeah,
All right.
You know what? You should never tell a pun to a kleptomaniac. They're always taking things literally.
You know what? That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing, but it's good.
I actually had a joke I was going to do. I'll do a bonus joke after this, and it's along
All right.
those lines.
All right.
You know what? That has to be my third because
Well-
you know what? I only have 2.
I'll do your third joke.
Thank
Let's.
you.
There we go. All right. Round 2. Brent, you're up.
Okay. Women, this is something I believe with all my heart.
Oh, boy.
Women should not have children after 36. I mean, 36 is enough children.
That's your next TLC series right there.
Yeah.
36 and counting. I caught my youngest son chewing on electrical cables, so I had to ground him. Wait, he's doing much better currently, and
Keep going.
and he is now conducting himself properly.
This is my rainbow joke. Oh my gosh. So a man goes to a doctor, says, I've got good news and bad news. Let's have the good news first.
Wait, okay, all right. This is different than
it's
last
different,
week. All right, all right.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
news first.
Doctor says you have 24 hours to live. That's terrible. What's the bad news? I was supposed to call you yesterday.
Okay, have you guys ever watched Archer?
That's great.
Yes.
That reminds me of the breast cancer episode where the doctor calls back like 3 times. I am just so sorry. I misdiagnosed. You definitely have breast cancer. And Archer's like, oh my God. He calls back 5 minutes later. I'm so sorry. The results came back negative. Oh, thank God I don't have it. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong file. Oh, yeah, you definitely got breast cancer. All right. All right. Round 3, but then you're going to have to come back and save my
Actually, I've got a really dumb one after this. Go ahead.
All right.
Why should you never brush your teeth with your left hand?
Why?
Because a toothbrush works much better.
That's pretty good. I told a joke on a Zoom meeting, and no one laughed. Turns out I'm not remotely funny.
Burr, burr, burr.
All right, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Knock, knock.
Nah, who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Knock, knock.
Nah, who's there?
Orange.
Aren't you glad I didn't say banana?
Oh, wow. Okay.
That joke was written at the dawn of jokes, Micah.
It was.
Yeah.
That was one we used to tell in elementary school.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
That's where
my
Michael
back-
was yesterday. That's why he can no
That
longer
was
get
my-
within 500 feet of the
That was
school.
my backup for not having a sixth joke.
All right. Well,
So not only did he not watch all of Andor, he didn't even have the requisite amount of
You
jokes for the
know,
show.
Larry, you know.
Hey, you want me to say rally again?
A little bit.
Okay. You got it. You late for a rally, Micah?
Do it.
All right. You late for a rally?
Get it.
Yeah, I think you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, racist.
all right. Let me tell you my kleptomaniac joke.
All right.
This is in honor of Micah.
Is this the joke I told last week?
No. What's the difference between a literalist and a kleptomaniac? A comma. Because a literalist takes everything literally, and a kleptomaniac takes everything literally.
That was a good one.
That was the whole grandma thing, like
That was a good one.
with the grammar joke about let's eat grandma and let's eat comma grandma.
Right. Why Oxford commas matter.
They absolutely matter.
Commas save lives.
They do indeed. And that's going to do it for this version of...
It's the greatest joke in the world.
Such good times.
So good.
So good. I just thought of something, you guys. We are obviously going to talk about Star Wars again at some point.
Oh yeah,
Because that's what we do.
because Star Wars.
We need a greatest jokes version that's just Star Wars jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Done and done.
Done.
All right.
Done.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know. This is why I said that, viewers and listeners, just now, because I know exactly what's going to happen. At least with Brent, probably with Micah. I have suggested that we do a greatest joke segment that is just Star Wars jokes. Once we end this show, they are both going to run to their phones and start compiling Star Wars dad jokes.
Definitely.
And I cannot wait for the results.
And if we do a Star Trek episode,
of course,
let's do the same thing.
absolutely, 100%.
Oh yes.
100%. We have been talking about Andor Season 2 on Disney+. It is quite simply some of the best writing on television, not just in the Star Wars universe.
Yep.
It is a political thriller that just happens to be set in the Star Wars universe. This is something that you as a nerd could watch with someone who is not a nerd, and they would still enjoy it.
Yep.
It is absolutely fantastic. There are 3 more episodes yet to come out, and you better believe after they drop, we're going to talk about them at some point. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening this evening. I am Larry Brantley, along with Micah Donahoe
Live long and prosper.
and Brent Williams.
May the force be with you.
I want to remind you to please join the Nerdherfers Nation. Go out to nerdherfers.com and hit the subscribe button. Hit us up on our YouTube channel and do the same thing. Hit us up in the comments section. Hey, do you have a comment about Andor Season 1 or Season 2? We would love to hear about it. I can't say that we're going to get back to you on that.
Sure we will. Sure we will.
Sure we
Yeah,
will.
we will.
Yeah,
It
because
could
we're
be 2 weeks, a month later, but we'll get back to you.
I mean,
yeah.
we'll get you.
And by the way, where are the trolls when we need them?
Troll us.
Where are you, trolls? Come on. Hit us with your best shot. So far, only one person's made fun of Brent, and that's just not enough, quite
Yeah, I
frankly.
mean, there's
I need
not
more.
enough
Yeah.
pedophile jokes.
Yeah.
I need
'cause
more.
we-
Right? Yeah.
If you could do a pedophile and racist joke in the same joke, even better.
There you go.
We will hit you up for that one. Thank you guys so much. We will see you next week. Until then, remember this and remember it well. The rebellion lives. Good night, everybody.
Subscribe.
This has been a production of Nerdherfers. Copyright 2025, all rights reserved. No portion of this broadcast may be used without permission. Please visit nerdherfers.com for more information and full legal disclaimer.